Oof. We can't get 2 minutes into this episode without me having 3 things to discuss. Oh, but come on, man! I want to get to Nurse Jennifer! We all do. Trust me, we all want to get to Nurse Jennifer. But first things first.
I had a wonderful time, Zack. That movie really got to me.
You're the only one who cried when Ernest went to jail.
What? But the scene is played for laughs. Is Kelly broken?
I wasn't the only one. Vern was crying too.
She is broken, and the audience knows it.
I wasn't the only one. Vern was crying too.
As many 90s kids know, Ernest's friend Vern never appeared on screen. He was depicted as being on the other side of the camera.
Hot, ain't it, Vern? Look what your buddy Ernest has brought you, Vern. Hey, Vern, look what my brother-in-law just got down at Tyson's Toyota, Vern. A brand new Toyota Supra.
The Ernest character was wildly popular and was featured from television commercials to movies. Kids freaking knew the bit, which is why Kelly's joke about Vern crying in the movie received confused silence. In fact, Ernest never speaks to Vern in Ernest Goes to Jail, and the only reference to Vern is as a soap product. You made Kelly look bad. For shame. Just seems to be an instance of older writers trying to write for a younger audience. And on that note...
Well, good night, Zack.
Kelly? Look, I've never felt this way about a girl before.
Yes?
Would you go steady with me?
Go steady? Didn't that phrase die out after the 1960s? And this is almost the end of the season. Haven't Zack and Kelly been going steady for, the season? Methinks there might be some production issues at play that we will discuss later. So Zack finally asks Kelly to be his girlfriend, and she's gotta sleep on it. And then her family breaks me.
Say goodnight. It's past our curfew.
Alright, judging by the voice, it's safe to assume that this isn't an older brother. A fact Kelly confirms for us.
He's just trying to protect his big sister.
Kenny Leonard, is that you?
Hey, Kyle, want to live till tomorrow?
How is he alive right now? Our Kapowski family tree is at capacity. Kelly is one of 7 kids. She has 3 older brothers, a younger sister, Kenny Leonard, and Billy. Where the F did Kyle come from? I guess Kyle can go here?
I mean, with 7 kids in the family, it's an often get to feel special.
Oh, you're special, all right. Special in that you can't count the number of siblings you have. Contrariwise, your craving for specialness is potentially diluted further with another sibling trying to hog the Kapowski spotlight. No kiss for you! And I love how the bricks on Kelly's house don't match up. I assume it's production's way of objectively showing how devastatingly poor Kelly's family is. Our house is made of fake bricks. It's school time, and Screech is cramming to pass his physical with Nurse Butcher.
Freddy Krueger's mother? No way.
Yeah, maybe that's why Slater is nervous about his physical. Freddy Krueger's mom was a nun? Was she one of those abusive ones? Because otherwise, Zack's joke doesn't make any sense. Regardless, Zack's not concerned. He just Allen Iversons right over Screech's Ty Lue and explains why he's on cloud 9.
Just that I expect to be going with the most beautiful girl in school by the end of the day.
Can we have Zack redo that line?
Just that I expect to be going with the most beautiful girl in school by the end of the day.
It just seems like he made all possible D noises. The bell rings and everyone heads to class. Everyone except Zack. Because who cares about school when you might be going exclusive with this smoke show? But this is all contrived. We just needed Zack alone to meet Jennifer. And Zack catches flack from some other commentators for seemingly acting out of character by going all mute and gaga for Jennifer. But I get it. I used to work for a world-class hotel and would have some of the most famous and beautiful people approach me at the front desk. It became commonplace to interact with a Shaquille O'Neal or a Vanessa Hudgens. But this one time, a woman of indescribable quality approached the front desk, and I could not speak. It was humiliating. I don't even remember who it was. I'd like to think it was Olivia Wilde, or, dare I say it, Sarah Carter? Regardless, I get it, Zack. Jennifer is pointed to the nurse's office, and Zack is in love. All right, English class. Miss Simpson is having everyone read their poems to the class, and as always, she's amazing.
When morning comes,
You may begin when ready.
Kelly informs Zack that she wants to talk to him after class, and she uses her poem as a little teaser.
My poem is called That Special Someone. Those eyes so warm, that smile so bright. I think about him day and night.
Zack, the little scamp, attributes these words to Jennifer.
The cutest guy I'll ever see. Oh, lucky me.
Aw, look how proud she is. While Zack, Jesse, and, Larry Pliskin head to the nurse for their physicals, let's address poetry in this class. Sure, they're high school poems, so no one really knocks it out of the park. But who wrote this sample poem on the board? Clouds can be small, clouds can be tall. Some clouds are fast, some clouds are in dead last. Some clouds look like a face, some clouds are in a race. But when I look at a cloud, it really makes me proud. Do I really need to point out how juvenile this is? What crew member wrote that on the board to be immortalized in television history? Why not use some clouds for each of the first 6 lines? Why mention fast and dead last clouds, but only later relate that clouds can be in a race? And then why say but at the end? This isn't a counterpoint. It does, however, serve as an exclamation point to accentuate the ineptness of the poem with some of the most inane words ever strung together. Who gets proud by simply looking at clouds? And who wrote Iambic Pentameter above the poem? This in no way resembles anything written in the meter William M.F. Shakespeare made famous. Okay, breathe, buddy. This is a fun show for kids with a wacky premise. Now you might say, hey, I've seen a poem like that before. And you'd be right. In Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne, you see this poem, where the silly old bear is proud to be a cloud because he thinks this grand idea of his will net him some honey. It's absurd, but it works. Here, not so much. Larry Pliskin is clearly done, so Jessie quickly fails her eye test. Freddy Krueger's mother explains that Jessie needs glasses.
Do you want me to look like a 4-eyed frog face?
Judging by this look, my bet is she does. But come on, Jessie. You know frogs don't wear glasses. You were in that one frog movie. Zack waits his turn and...
Hello, nurse.
Yeah, Zack had thought Jennifer was a new student, but she's actually going to be the new school nurse. But, I mean, come on.
Is that
Skirt.
regulation size or what?
It's not. And seeing no objections, we'll move on. Kelly is waiting for Zack and confesses to Screech her answer. Screech compares this joyous news to the return of the Brady Bunch, which was quickly canceled after a month and prior to the airing of this episode. Zack shows up and Screech spoils Kelly's surprise. When chastised, Screech does his cat thing.
Retract those claws.
Hey, leave that poor kitty alone.
But this time, we get to see Screech break character. We also get to see Kelly break character, and Zack almost breaks.
I guess you know the answer. It's yes.
That's great, Kel. So what was the question?
Zack Morris is trash.
Okay, Slater is still afraid of needles, Kelly is worried Zack likes someone else, and Screech makes Jessie feel like a
4-eyed frog face?
So the plot is still intact. My question about this scene is, who is just lounging in the arcade cabinet? This whole scene, just elbows deep in it. Jesse later confronts Zack and he confesses that he has feelings for Nurse Jennifer. But he's not going to tell Kelly.
Well, what are you gonna do? Go out with her and the nurse?
And then we get probably the best dream sequence ever produced for Saved by the Bell. Honestly, I have so few notes. I mean, Screech has a funny bit. Mr. Belding does a great job. It's just, like, a really well done skit. Oh, and the ladies look nice, too. Jessie promises to keep Zack's secret. Later in class, hey, Miss Simpson can hear from across the room due to her new sensitive hearing aid. Gosh dang, she was brilliant. Not so brilliant? The lighting. Notice how the girls' shadows are pretty low on the chalkboard? That means the lighting is high, which means a low boom mic can cast a shadow on Kelly's face. You made Kelly look bad. For shame. Zack shows up but says he's not feeling so well. Slater then gets called in for his physical and immunization.
Hello, nurse.
Nurse Jennifer's looking hot. I mean, Zack says he's feeling hot, but then cold, so Jennifer goes to get her thermometer. Slater enters and Zack, sporting pegged trousers, thinks Jennifer is back, but being timid about their love.
Yes, my darling. We were meant to be together. Be mine. Where's Jennifer? Who cares? I'm yours.
Hey, just what Slater's always wanted.
Hey, if it doesn't work out with you and Screech, call me.
Why is Zack so aggressively tucking in his already tucked shirt? That's weird. AC decides to keep Zack's secret, but only if Zack takes Slater's flu shot.
Bend over, Blondie.
2 questions. First, how long does it take to get a thermometer, Nurse Jennifer? And 2, if it would have been Nurse Jennifer, would Zack have minded?
Bend over, Blondie.
Screech still hasn't had his physical. And as much as Screech loves the idea of Zack and Kelly, he's awfully quick to find Kelly another man while Zack tries to see this Nurse Jennifer thing through.
We need someone more sensitive. Someone like you.
Are you sure about that? Because Kelly once thought that she and Screech could be a long-term item.
Well, there's this new kid named Melvin Nerdley.
Nerdly? I love him already.
Zack proposes that he and Kelly date other people. Then he leaves and nearly trips over Slater's foot. Ah, freaking men! Jessie and Slater dance around the issue, but Lisa, the queen of all Bayside's hot gossip, easily reads between the lines.
Lisa, you promised not to tell.
Well, Ms. L here didn't, and she's telling.
Everyone say it with me.
Lisa's the best!
The next scene accomplishes 2 things. First, Jessie doesn't need glasses.
Jessie, you got them all right. Who told you needed glasses?
Nurse Butcher.
Blind as a bat butcher? This morning she gave a flu shot to the flagpole.
How does any of this make sense?
Now let's get Loverboy in here and let him see a side of me he's never seen before.
I want to go to there.
So, what's the plan? Ah! Ninja Nurse! How did Zack not see her back there? And, what was I talking about again?
Hello, nurse.
Fun fact, as revealed in the Zack to the Future podcast, actress Nancy Valen did this hair flip as an homage to the Rita Hayworth hair flip in Gilda. And we are all the better for it. Nurse Jennifer's sexiness takes a turn when she reveals that she wants Zack, but that her professional wrestler husband would get jealous. Zack squirms on a sink that is obviously not connected to the wall.
Zack, do you want a girl or a woman?
And in the days following, how did your classmates learn about what had happened?
I believe from me telling the story to anyone who would listen.
Yeah, that's not how Zack's story goes, as he chooses the girl. He runs his Bill Cosby sweater-wearing self over to Kelly's and learns that Melvin Nerdley is not what Zack had in mind. But Kelly's down to clown. She leaves Zack out cold.
Oh, come on, Kelly.
Go away, or you'll be sorry.
Hey, Kyle, just butt out.
Okay, I warned you.
Ha! Stupid. This episode makes so little sense. For starters, I mentioned before the continuity issue. Why would Zack barely be asking Kelly to go steady this late in the season? Well, it's because the episode was written and produced to air as the third episode of the 10th grade year. It was supposed to air right after the prom, after Zack and Kelly had that tender moment, but things weren't official yet. Saving this episode for the end of the season really diminishes the relationship. I mean, are we supposed to forget that Zack already presented Kelly with a going steady ring and she said she wasn't ready? Or when Zack tells the viewer that he's a one-woman guy? And as much as I hate to say it, Nurse Jennifer doesn't make sense. I mean, look at her. Just look at all of her. You may be thinking, geez, man, quit objectifying this person. But I submit to you that objectification was really her only role. The producers couldn't just pick an attractive lady to play Nurse Jennifer. That would have been too vanilla and a waste of great legs.
And I love teachers with great legs.
Other things are important too.
Really, Slater?
Well, sure. Trust, understanding, and great legs.
Yeah.
Think about it. When Tony Crane was our hot male substitute teacher, did we have to see him flex or rock a six-pack for us to believe that he was an attractive man? No, he was just a good-looking dude. And the girls wanted him. We couldn't do this with Nurse Jennifer? Because she's clearly an attractive woman. That could have been enough for the narrative. And it wasn't enough that she just looked good. But her only trait seemed to be flagrant objectification.
Wonder what's going on in that body of yours.
I was fist pumping the entire walk home from school, and my arm muscles were a little sore.
To further illustrate, the scheme to ward off Zack was centered on the idea that she had a jealous pro wrestler husband. But then she gets flagrantly sexual. Talk about mixed messages. What is the point of this fantastically inappropriate behavior towards a student? Does she want to jump Zack's bones or not? Nurse Jennifer is not a character. She is an object. And I, for one, will enjoy her appearance as such, and ignore the fact that Mr. Belding apparently has a strict dress code. One thing is clear, Zack does not do well with aggressive women. A then up-and-coming Kathy Ireland was initially cast as Nurse Jennifer, but things didn't go well during early table reads, and Nancy Valen was quickly hired to replace her. Nancy's career has spanned appearances in shows like Ryan's Hope, Friends, Full House, Hull High, and Boy Meets World, where she similarly played a hot substitute health teacher. She is probably best known for her season 7 stint on Baywatch. Aside from acting, Nancy Valen has done extensive work hosting home shopping shows for products promoting healthy lifestyle habits. And if you can believe it, this is our third time seeing Miss Simpson, but I've never talked about the actress. Miss Simpson was played by Pamela Kosh. Much of her career was spent in the theater, and her on-screen appearances are relatively sparse. Aside from 49 appearances in Days of Our Lives, Pamela had some one-off spots in shows like Mama's Family, Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman, Charmed, and Alias. She also reprised her role as Miss Simpson in Saved by the Bell, The New Class. Because of this appearance, I finally got to watch my first episode of it. Woof. However, it is nice to see that, up to this point, Miss Simpson has been the only teacher to have a consistent subject to teach. Pamela Kosh died in 2022, but her legacy of sheer brilliance will forever be memorialized in her appearances in Saved by the Bell.
Kelly, no goodnight kiss?
Take a hike, dork.